Now, it was a couple months later, would have been mid-March, probably 1933. I was in Omaha, Nebraska, when who do I see right out front of the cafe but a Tumble Fatty inside? And I says, Fatty man, it's been months. What's going on? He said, oh, not too much. I just come down from Eldon. You've been over to see the folks lately? I said, no. How are they? Oh, they ain't good. Their little Lovena, she's awful sick. Well, I thought I'd better see what was going on. I hopped on a train that was heading back east, made my way down to Eldon. It snowed during the night. And I mean, it snowed. I swear the snow was knee deep by the time I got to Eldon. I waded through the snow out to the farm. And it was true, she was sick. Had been for a couple of weeks now. You know, if they had money to take her to the hospital in Ottumwa, maybe they could have done something. The country doctor from Eldon, he tried his best. He didn't know what to do. He knew she had cerebral pneumonia. I could barely say it. She'd been in and out of consciousness for a few days. She'd been unconscious all day long. And we was all in the bedroom there. And all of a sudden she woke up. And she sat up and looked at everybody real clear. And she looked at Pansy and she says, Mama, Jesus is here for me. May I go? Pansy didn't know what to say. So she says, yeah, honey, if you've got to go, I guess you can go. And she sang. She sang out, life is like a mountain railroad with an engineer that's brave, and we must make the run successful from the cradle to the grave. Sang through the whole song. And laid back down on the pillow and closed her eyes. That was it.
She died?
We didn't any of us know what to do. Ward and me, we went out to the barn and we hitched up the sleigh to the horses, and he drove into Eldon to talk to the undertaker. The undertaker, he said there's no way he was going to get his hearse out there through the snow. Could he come back in the sleigh with his tools and do his work there at the house? So Ward brought him back. We all went out to the kitchen while he did his work in the bedroom. Had the funeral the next day, Easter Sunday. The snow was still so deep. They managed to get the hearse out to the house, but between the farm and Bethlehem Church, there was 4 or 5 great big hills. They knew they'd never get the hearse over those hills. But it drove off down the road, and when it got to the bottom of the first hill and found itself stuck, there was a farmer with his horses waiting right there, and they hitched up the horses to the car and they pulled it over the hill. When it got to the second hill, there was a farmer there with his horses. And at the third hill was a farmer, and at the fourth, and all through that morning, as people drove through the snow to get to the funeral, the farmers were there waiting to pull them over the hill with their horses. It's good enough service as far as they go. Yeah, I headed back west. I planted peas in Pasadena, and carrots in Cucamonga, strawberries in Sacramento, all the while sending letters back and forth. Ward wrote me, he says, Dear Warsh, we have moved to a new farm. We are just outside of Troy now. It is a good place. There is pasture for our cows, but oh, is it dry. You know, we have not had no rain at all. Well, I understood. When I was going through Oklahoma, I came on those dust storms. That 5-mile high wall of dust rolling across the plains. I've never been more scared of anything in my life. Every afternoon, me and Pansy, we go out to the woodlot and we cut down a little tree. Then with our hatchets, we cut all the branches off and we scatter the leaves on the ground so that the cows will have something to eat and won't die. Good. A week later, I got a letter from little Eva. She says, Dear Warsh, I thought I would tell you more about our farm. It's a good place. Daddy has got 2 horses, Jerry and May, and sometimes I get to ride May out around the pasture. Mama would like me to be in the kitchen cooking, but I like to ride horses better than I like to cook. In order to get to our pasture, you have to go across a creek. Now, this was interesting to me. You see, if there was one thing in the world that Ward Killen was afraid of, it was water. Ward Killen was sure that he was going to die of drowning. He didn't care if it was 6 inches of water he was afraid of. Never did teach his girls how to swim. In order to get to the pasture, you cross the creek on an old log. Oh, this just got better and better. I could picture Ward Killen trying to get across this log twice a day, every day to feed his cows. The log is over about a 10-foot drop, and that is over a particularly deep part of the creek. Yesterday, Daddy was coming home. He was coming across the log when a tremendous explosion threw him about 3 or 4 feet through the air. Daddy leaped up yelling all kinds of things, and he said, "What's happening? What's happening?" And 2 fellas come up running out of the creek bottom. And they say, "What are you trying to do, get yourself killed?" And Daddy said, "What are you trying to do, kill me?" And the 2 fellas looked kind of scared, and they said, "Well, we was hungry, and we had some extra dynamite, so we thought we would do some fishing." And about that time, the fish started to fall back down out of the sky. Daddy liked to beat the 2 men senseless, and they ran off. But we had fried fish for supper. Now that's a letter, I gotta tell you. Later in the summer, I got another letter from Eva. She said, "Dear Warsh, I have exciting news. Daddy has gotten a job. Daddy is going to drive the school bus into the school at Troy." Now, I have been to Los Angeles. I had seen school buses. They were big, they were yellow, and they had engines. Ward could barely drive his Model A Ford. I had to see this. So I hopped on a train. I worked my way back to Eldon. I got out to the farm. Ward was so excited and proud to show me his school bus. We walked straight out toward the barn. That should have been my first indication. He threw open the barn doors, and there in front of me was his school bus. An extra long wagon pulled by 4 horses. Benches built all the way across it. It had canvas sides and a roof in case the weather got bad. But Ward was awful proud of his school bus. Well, first day of school rolled around, and Eva, she is taking forever to get ready for school. I says, "Eva, come on. You're going to make your daddy late on his first day driving the school bus. You don't want to do that." And Eva, she says, "Well, Warsh, maybe I ain't going to go to school." I said, "Eva, why not? What's wrong?" "Warsh, I only ever been to a one-room country school, and the school at Troy is so big, there's 2 floors and there's 4 classrooms. And everywhere I've ever gone, I always had Lovena to walk in front of me, and I just put my feet where she'd been, and I ain't got that, and I'm scared." He says, "Well, Eva, you're in 4th grade, aren't you?" "Yeah, I'm going to be in 4th grade." "Well, I left school after 3rd grade. Maybe I could use some educating. I'll go to school with you." So I went to 4th grade. It was hard. I was glad I didn't have to go more than a few days before she was okay with it finally. Well, we made it through the start of 4th grade and through harvest, and it's time for me to head out. Plant peas in Pasadena, carrots in Cucamonga,
Strawberries somewhere.
and strawberries in Sacramento. Well, I ends up